Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Shane, just live and recorded. For anyone that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here, and I want to apologize real quick. I don't feel great, so if I gotta walk away or whatever, we gotta cut this short. Obviously, I'll let you guys know, but I don't know. I feel like absolute crap this morning. Let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll go from there. We have Mr. Lawnmower Man. Good to see you, man. Black Hat Team. Good to see you, buddy. DJ Mines, my man. Appreciate you. Let's see. Andrew Masad. Duke Nukem. Good morning, sir. We have Mr. Max Voltage in the house. Wow, you're here first thing. Thanks, Mr. Max. Appreciate you. Best YouTube. What's up, buddy? Good day. Mining Meister. TK89. Good to see you. Dakota Miner. Cook 4015. Good to see you, buddy. All right, everybody else I may have missed, I apologize, but let's get into this. Looking like Bitcoin has broken 70,000 once again. Isn't that crazy? Crazy how everybody panics and then we just shoot right back up over the all-time high again before the halving. Crazy. I mean, like previous all-time high, not the newest one, but 70,713. We're looking like Ethereum at 36.35, Solana at $194. We have ICP looking like that's up quite a bit today, 11.64% at $19.28. We got Near up 8.57% at $7.96. Looking like LTC is up 2.17% today at 91 bucks. APT up 14.11%, $18.33. IMX is up 6.71%. Looking pretty good. CASP is actually only up 0.21%, under 15 cents, but still floating along, holding pretty well. We have ETC. ETC is one of these coins that I hope pop actually close to the Ethereum ETF when that gets announced or when that comes to fruition. Looks like it's at $32 right now, almost 33 bucks, up 5.14% on the day. Everything else is looking pretty good. Meme coins are starting to pop off again. Man, it's kind of crazy. I haven't really been paying attention, but man, it's looking good. Look at this whiff. Dog whiff hap up 18.4% on the day, ranked 44th. Look at that. Let's see if you guys have any questions, just tag me in the chat. Yeah, Dan R. No, my like I can't even drink a coffee this morning. I have to drink water because my stomach is like killing me. It's like, feels like I'm getting stabbed. Like that's, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I just feel like crap, man. Anyways, Jasmine is up 12.3%. APT looks like that's up, like I said, Aptos 15% on the day. Mana's up 6.5%. We got Floki 9.7%. Is anybody into Floki? I've been hearing a lot of stuff about that. I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun just trying to get people to absolutely like pump this coin for zero reason. I don't know. Stomach virus? Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on. I have no idea. I just feel like crap, man. But I wanted to stick through it for you guys, so we're gonna try. H-bar is up 9.1% today. Looking pretty good. Not too bad. Ranked 32nd. Bonk. And man, these meme coins are killing it. Up 13% today. Ranked 67. Shiba is up 11.6%. Damn. Wow, back into 11th. Just jumped a rank right in front of our eyes. Look at that. It's up 12% now. And Bonk is up 14%. Jeez. All right, flashbang. Let's see. What are we looking like? Extreme Greed in 81. Look at that. We're well over 75 like we were yesterday. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think people really understand how to take it when we break the previous all-time high before the halving. And this needle, I don't really think understands how to do it either. Again, this is a collective data like ball basically of everything on the internet, news channels, you know, prices, everything just kind of gets thrown together. So whatever is what it is. We'll see where this ends up going. All right, over here, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, Lotto Staked Ether, USDC, Dogecoin, and Cardano. Cardano, I was talking about this the other day. I think it's a pretty decent buy, at least as of right now. It's 67 cents, and again, its all-time high was like $3, right? $3.09, and every single bull run it does tend to pop off. So 2017 giant run up, 2021 giant run up, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think you guys might be able to get an easy 5x at least out of this coin, but I guess we're gonna have to see. Again, not paid by those guys or sponsored in any way. That's just my opinion. I've never owned any. I just swapped some into, or USDT into Cardano yesterday, so, or the other day, I think it was Saturday maybe. I might have done that. Avalanche is in 11th place. We have Shiba in 12th place. It flipped over on Crypto Bubbles, but I don't know. I guess maybe this is lagging a little bit behind just CoinGecko. We have Litecoin in 24th place over here. Again, 91.25. Ethereum Classic, 32 bucks. Then 29th place. Hedera in 34th place at 12 cents. I actually got some of this the other day too. I love being able to swap now for it in my Tangem wallet. It's actually awesome. Caspa, same thing. I could swap for Caspa on my Tangem wallet. I actually got some the other day at 11 cents. So trying to accumulate more of this. I think this is going to have a nice run up at some point as well. Let's just see real quick. I think it's building another flag of some sort. Maybe not as textbook as this one, but this one, I don't know. We're gonna have to see where it goes. Maybe it was a little shakeout right here. I guess we'll have to see. What's up, Sloth Squash? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. All right, so let's move on to the mining segment of things. We're gonna get into this. You guys know I like to timestamp this. We go from the top to wherever. If you guys want me to look at anything specific, please let me know. But we have the Antminer KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $163 a day. We got the KS5 20 terahash unit making $155 a day. Again, this is after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. We have the BMKS Max 11 terahash unit making $77.25 per day. The Windminer K9 making $75.86. Looking pretty good. The Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $57. We have the KS3M 6 terahash unit making $40. They've been dropping quite a bit, actually. You guys know Caspa shaves a little off every single month. Instead of having a actual halving, they just progressively trim a little off every single month until it gets to the point where, you know, they're happy with, I guess. But yeah, these miners are actually still, I'm still impressed these are on the top of the charts, and there's really nothing beating it, to be honest. That's how I feel about it. Let's see. Having a play with my R9 7950X. Nice, Mr. Paul Collins. Sweet. Feel much better about my 100k prediction by the halving if we break 76k, says Solar Miner. Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Imagine if that happens. It'd be sick. The Jazz Miner X16P, shout out to Jingle Mining for sending this over to me to check out a couple months ago. Actually, I don't even know where it is now. Actually, I wonder if, does Panda have this thing yet? Does anybody know? Or does Rabid Mining still have it? Because I put 2 flags for Panda in that box, and they better still be in that box for him. I thought it was going right to Panda after Max, but apparently that's not what happened. It's making $25 a day mining ETH, W, and ZIL. And it looks like, look at this. Digibyte is on the top of the chart still for the S19s. Any of the Bitcoin miners. Looks like Digibyte's still there. Killing it on every single one of them. Wow. Look at this, the Antminer L7 9050. Again, I got mine down at Terra Hosting, paying 10 cents per kilowatt hour. If you guys are interested and you have a disgusting electric rate like me, go down and check out the link in the description below. 1627 I am making per day on this unit. This thing's killing it. Dogecoin and Litecoin. I really want to get another one of these, to be honest. I really do. You know what? I might actually check. And if you guys are interested, Terra Hashes actually. Terra Hashes, I have a link down below for that as well. These are all in prices if you guys are interested in miners. Definitely look around, but they're one of the cheapest places around. Not trying to shill them, but just being honest. I'm gonna actually, what is the L7 going for over here? Because I want to know, because I kind of want one. Can I search? Oh, I can. L7, let's see. K7. Why does K7 come up when I type in L7? All right, they gotta fix this. Bitmain. Let's go through Bitmains. I guess I just want to see what it's going for, because mine, the ASIC prices are not correct. And I think these units are they just kill it for what they are. What is happening? Why is this taking forever to load? Oh, here we go. Oh my God. Why are they still so expensive? 5,750 bucks. Again, this is all in prices, and they're probably this much everywhere. 9050, this is the one I got right here. 56. They're still going for 5,600 bucks. Jesus. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it's I guess it's not that crazy because they make a freaking killing. That's nuts. That's nuts. They're still going. This is like a 3-year-old machine, and they're still going for that kind of money. That's crazy. I mean, I'm happy that it's holding value, but damn. All right, let's see. The KS2 2 terahash unit making $13.39 per day. Let's see what else we got over here. We got the Jazz Miner X16Q 1950 mega hashes making $8.67 a day. I got that thing actually going for mining ETC going directly to Caspa. Just trying to build my bag. I have KS1 over here, the Ice River, $6.69 per day. Where is the S19K? Where are you? Oh, here we go. Bitmain S19K. I got one of these down at Terra Hosting as well. Man, what do you guys think? Should I switch over to Digibyte? Is it really that much more profitable? I think it just sucks to sell it. That's the problem with this. All right, this coin. About a penny and a half almost. Holy shit. You know what? It might not be a bad idea. That might not be a bad idea. You guys seeing this? Look at this. Sorry, I'm like ignoring you guys in the chat, but look at this. We have 2018, right? Right after the 2017 bull run. This thing peaked up, what, 12 cents? Over here, over 15 cents. It's all-time high. Let's see. 1781. It's saying it's down 91%. Almost 3 years ago. That's like a 17x. Or probably like a, I don't even know, a 13x or something from this point. That might be a good idea to get a little bag of Digibyte. Interesting. But all right, let's see. Hold on. Markets. Maybe I should swap my S19K. Grab some Digibyte. Especially if it's more profitable. Why not? The only thing that sucks is it's not on Coinbase, so it's not easy for me to sell. And it's not, I don't have any of these exchanges. I don't use any of these. It's on KuCoin though. KuCoin and Binance, if anybody uses that. I don't use any of these sites though, to be honest. Or on Gate.io. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, I think that's gonna do it for those. Actually, you know what? Hold on. KS0 Pro, where are we looking at for that today? Let's check it. KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit making $1.39 per day. You guys know I got 8 of these running next to me, so still stacking there. All right, let's move on to GPUs. What's the most profitable coin of the day? Damn, look at this. Pyron killing it. Perfect. Pyron is killing it on the 4090s, 4080s, 4070s, all the 40 series cards. Looks like Xano for the 7900 XT, the AMD cards, and Graham as well. Looks like Conflux. Nice, not too bad, not too bad. Xano again for the AMD cards, Graham, Nexa for the 3090 Ti. What's NTL? NTL, what is that? Nautilus, Carlson Hash. Oh, another fork, another fork. All right, let's see, where did this one just come out? Let's go to the mining pool stats.stream and see new coins. The new coin right here, 26 days ago, ranked 21st on the new coin list. 26 days ago. Carlson Hash. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Nice. Well, that's gonna do it, I guess. Pyron looks like to be the top of the charts for the bigger cards though. Then again, Xano for the AMD cards and everything else. All right, let's move on to the news, guys. I'm tired of talking. I'm exhausted and I feel like crap. Let's get into this. CNBC television, what's behind the Bitcoin's volatility and ETF outflows? Guys, that like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Well, Bitcoin has been having a bumpy last few days. Today, it's up and back above 70,000. But as you can see last week, Bitcoin was trading much lower, sliding as low as 60,000 at one point. In stark contrast, while Bitcoin...
Did anybody get more Bitcoin at 60,000? Anybody? Let me know.
Up, Bitcoin ETFs hit a record in outflows. Last week, the 10 Bitcoin ETFs saw $888 million in total outflows. That's about 94% of total crypto fund flows, according to Bloomberg. Where's the disconnect? Let's bring in CNBC's Mackenzie Sigalos. Why are we seeing Bitcoin rise and everybody ditching ETFs?
So this is definitely a grayscale problem. We've seen these record outflows in the last 2 weeks in GBTC, and a lot of that had to do with the bankruptcy proceedings of Genesis. As part of that, both Genesis and Gemini liquidated about $2.9 billion worth of their GBTC stake. Part of that's just shoring up the cash to pay back creditors. But even before that, Contessa, we just saw Grayscale really struggle with flows because their fees are so much higher. We're talking 1.5% versus 0.3%. That's the next biggest fee here. Now, collectively speaking, we are still looking at $52 billion of assets under management across all the funds. So it's still a promising space, but Grayscale has been struggling. All right.
You know, that's a good point. It is because of Grayscale in there. Honestly, it's just them being greedy as shit. Like, lower your freaking interest rates. And I don't think people would have ran away from you guys. It's like 6 times more than everybody else. Like, legit, outflows continue from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Like, of course, why wouldn't they take it out, right? And if they're trying to tax lost harvest, they got to wait 30 days to come back in. So could be some of that we're seeing too.
Let's turn to an update now on another crypto-related story that we brought you a couple weeks ago. 2 Binance executives held in Nigerian custody. The country was investigating the platform for wrecking its local currency. And now one of those executives has escaped. Nigeria has filed charges of tax evasion against Binance and those 2 executives. A Binance spokesperson said it's been made aware that one of the...
What the hell? Binance? What did it say? Binance? Hold on. Binance employees detained in Nigeria? What the...
said it's been made aware that one of the executives is no longer in Nigerian custody. Well, we just said that. What do we know about this?
So this is a wild story. We've got Nadeem now. He's a UK and Kenyan national. He's out there. And so it sounds
somewhere.
As though, yeah, somewhere. And it looks like the Nigerian government's trying to work with Interpol to track him down. Meanwhile, you've got Tigran, who is still in custody right now. This is an American citizen who actually worked for the IRS as a special agent for 10 years before he went to work for Binance. It's unclear what's going to happen in terms of next steps, because when you think about it, Contessa, I mean, the American government just settled with Binance for $4.3 billion. They're also holding a Binance executive in the U.S. until he faces his own sentencing. So, I mean, it's a complicated dynamic, but what doesn't look good is that Binance is not paying its taxes in multiple jurisdictions. So a lot of countries now taking issue with the exchange.
Mackenzie Sagalos, thank you for joining us on that.
Shout out to CNBC television for that. I'm going to be a dick right now. I can't stand when people come in the chat and they ask to look at some bullshit coin just to try to pump their own bags. And they've only talked in my chat once or twice over the last year, and this is all they keep saying in the chat. It's going to continue like this, I'm sure, but please, I'm not going to show you your bullshit coin to pump your bags. So don't even bother saying shit in chat, please. All right, let's continue. Bitcoin's upcoming halving, what to expect. Let's see what he's got to say over here on Bloomberg Technology. Actually, I just found this channel. I didn't even know this existed. Let's get into it.
Just give me your thoughts on the halving.
What's going on, Ed? I missed you, brother. You look good. The Bitcoin halving, yeah, of course, man. The halving is a huge deal. So just to be clear, everyone is aware of the fixed supply of Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million, but not all 21 million have been issued to the world yet. And so Bitcoin is on a fixed issuance schedule. Satoshi programmed when he or she launched Bitcoin on how those would be issued out. We're at about 19 million out of 21 so far. And every 10 minutes, more and more get issued. And the halving is when that issuance schedule gets cut in half. So the supply, the forced sellers, those that pay money to produce Bitcoins, which then have to sell it to pay for their costs, that's going to be halved. And so the really simple way to think about it, Ed, is if demand remains the same and the Bitcoin sold gets cut in half, it should have an impact on the price to the upside. So it's a big event, and we're all pretty excited about it.
Jack, let's have a healthy and robust debate here, but just give me a moment to outline a counterpoint to you, because you've been in the camp for a while, right, that there is only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and so prices have to go up. That's kind of the argument you've made, if you'll just give me that. And you've talked about, in the context of hyperinflation, don't be holding dollars. But I would point out that the market doesn't see further inflation. It doesn't see more inflation to come. And if you'll allow me, if you look at this morning's trading in terms of liquidity, I think 30 to $40 billion worth of Bitcoin was out there in the market. So there are counterpoints to the thesis that you've outlined.
Real quick, Max in the chat said that 16-year-old is a CEO. Come on. Listen, he's just aging well. Give him a break, all right?
Is that the end of your point?
End of my point. Please proceed.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to be polite. I mean, let's dumb it.
Take him as an example. He sold everything to buy Bitcoin, like everything. He doesn't even have clothes, just a white T-shirt, a hat. That's it.
Down the problem with central planning money, which is such a core technology to society working. Think about it, Ed. You go to work every single day and you pour your blood, sweat, and tears, all of the time you spend on this planet, in exchange for what? Money. So the central planning of money convolutes and complicates so much of the inner workings of society. Let's go back to basics. Our government is in debt, right? Yes or no? The U.S. government, that is. What all governments, right? Our government's in debt. Okay, traditionally, Ed, if I owed you 20 bucks, I'd have two options. I'd, one, have to default on that and say, you know what, Ed, I hope you still consider me a good friend, but I'm not going to make whole on that $20. The other is I could pay it back. Those are classically the two options that anyone in debt has, right? Now, the government, because they centrally plan and control our currency, unfortunately has a third, and that's that they can print more money, devalue the debt that they have and that they owe, and allocate more capital to themselves. So our government can't default. The U.S., the United States of America, cannot default on debt. It would collapse the entire planet.
Facts.
We also cannot afford to pay it back. So if you just
Also
like,
facts.
listen, I didn't even go to college, brother. This is just 101 basics, how the world works. If we can't
Listen, I didn't even go to college, he says.
default and we can't pay it back, what's the only option that they have to do? No matter what they sit and tell you at the Fed chair meetings and all of the economists, they have to issue more dollars. And so if there's going to be more pieces of green paper, you want them competing for the most fixed thing. Right? There's more dollars that are competing for a fixed amount of Bitcoin. And yes, real estate's going to go up too, because there's more dollars competing for real estate, but they can make more real estate. They can find more gold. They can't make any more Bitcoins. And that's just, I mean, even a college dropout can understand that, my friend.
Jack, let me jump in and again, just reiterate that the basic of the argument is that there are only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And the finality of that, what am I trying to say? The supply constraint on that is what will provide upward momentum. I have many questions for you. I think put your Strike CEO hat on and let's talk about payments. Give me an update on the state of crypto payments. We got a lot of questions about this, about real world adoption, because we kind of over the market mechanics of Bitcoin now, I think, at this point. What are you seeing out there globally?
I think the biggest... I don't know if it's tension. The biggest story is stable coins for sure. Here's my personal take. Bitcoin is the only neutral value transfer protocol for the world. We view it at Strike as the single value transfer protocol for planet Earth. Now, that sounds like a lot of gobbledygook. What I actually mean by that is Bitcoin is the only physical digital instrument. So a stable coin is just an IOU for a bank deposit. It's like a innovation to ACH, but you have counterparty risk with the issuer, with regulators, with where the bank deposit is held at that bank. What if they're fractional reserve? So Bitcoin's the only physical instrument on the internet that we can move globally. So we view it as the way, like it's like the TCP/IP of value transfer for the web. But the problem, I think, is that consumers around the world prefer stable coins because of their relative stable value to Bitcoin. So when you have emerging markets like in Africa, like Latin America, all through Latin America, they find it difficult to stomach the volatility. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, Bitcoin can be an intimidating asset. So where we are spending a lot of our time is trying to meet the consumer demand of Africa, of Latin America, where Bitcoin, the technology, is just so far ahead of everything else. But the dollar value is valuable to consumers in these regions. So I think that's going to be a lot of the payments innovation over the next few years, is the marrying of those two concepts.
Well, just a quick follow-up on that. So geography was one of the other questions that we got. So, for example, how's the El Salvador HQ going? As one example, but you mentioned, I think, Africa and Latin America. Do you kind of have, we only have a few seconds, Jack, but do you have a specific list of countries to which you've actually expanded service?
Yeah, we just launched Strike Africa. I think, listen, every single person on the planet is dealing with fiat debasement, is dealing with what I explained, is the fact that their government has to issue more of their currency. So access to Bitcoin is paramount. It's a killer use case because it's the only thing that no one on the planet can create more of. And then for payments, we think it's fascinating to disrupt cross-border payments. I mean, the fact that I can move something physical, like a water bottle or my iPhone, from here to Nigeria, but it's a Bitcoin, is crazy, man. The cost should really come down there. So Africa, we've launched. Europe is up next. Latin America after that. We're on a warpath to bring a Bitcoin-focused consumer experience to the world. No altcoins, and we're doing well. I'm curious to see where this goes.
Jack, I actually have a question for you in real time through the IB on the Bloomberg terminal. I'm just going to read it to you. Jack, how can the blockchain sustain itself if the miners who are validating the transaction mine less and less new coins? That's a direct question to you from our audience.
Yeah, so the miners get paid fees So every single transaction is a fee associated with it. So miners, in theory, collect revenue. There's been blocks as of recent where the fees actually are more than the issuance reward. But the Bitcoin protocol also auto-adjusts itself, and the difficulty required to mine blocks changes by how many people are mining as well. So the protocol is built to sustain itself, and this is also a problem that is way out in the future. I think sometimes when people get stressed out, listen, the Bitcoin price is outpacing the halvings, right? Bitcoin is going up multiples more than the issuance is being halved. Bitcoin's already up over 100% in the last calendar year, right? So I think that this is an anxiety-inducing problem that we may face in 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. But the answer is Satoshi's intention was transaction fees, is that people pay for block space, pay to get transaction finality, and that should sustain the network plenty.
Shout out to Bloomberg Technology for that. That was actually a really good little interview. That guy's actually ridiculously smart for how young he does look. All right, let's look at CNBC Crypto World. Let's see what they got to say over here. Bitcoin reclaimed $70,000 as volatility still hovers at 2024 highs. Let's see what they got to say over here. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin surges to within striking distance of reclaiming $70,000. FTX finds a buyer for part of its stake in AI startup Anthropic. And Chris Kuiper of Fidelity Digital Assets shares his 2024 outlook for Bitcoin ETFs. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Brandon Gomez. The crypto market roaring back over the weekend and in the green to kick off the week. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed more than 6% and traded just under $70,000. Ether rose 5.5% and Solana jumped a whopping 9.4%. Volatility is still hovering at a 2024 high for Bitcoin. That cryptocurrency has rebounded from the $63,000 level it slumped back to on Friday. Okay, let's talk about today's top stories. The U.S. civil fraud trial against Terraform Labs co-founder Do Kwon kicks off today in New York. The SEC will make its case to the court that Do Kwon and Terraform Labs allegedly defrauded investors by marketing crypto securities in the form of Luna. And when Luna eventually plummeted to zero, along with the stablecoin UST, the SEC says that collapse led to devastating losses for investors to the tune.
Look at this! Look at this line behind it. Like the candle, it just completely dumps down to the ground.
Of $40 billion. Notably, though, Do Kwon won't be there for the start of this trial. Why? Well, he's still in Montenegro. According to Bloomberg, Do Kwon has been released from prison, but is still waiting a final destination for his extradition, either to the US or South Korea. The country's Supreme Court previously ordered the crypto entrepreneur back to his home country of South Korea, but a last-minute challenge from a lower court put that decision on hold until the Supreme Court could weigh in once again. Next, a Binance executive has escaped custody in Nigeria just as the nation's government filed tax evasion charges against the crypto exchange. According to local media reports, Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service filed 4 new charges relating to tax evasion in a high court. Those charges include non-payment of VAT, which is value-added tax, failure to submit tax returns, and more. As part of those charges, 2 senior executives for the company were taken into custody, but now one has escaped. A Binance spokesperson told CNBC it was made aware that Nadeem Anjarwalla is no longer in Nigerian custody and that the company was working collaboratively with Nigerian authorities to quickly resolve this issue. You could read more about those new tax charges and Anjarwalla's escape at CNBC.com. Finally, crazy. FTX has found a buyer for its stake in AI startup Anthropic. The doomed crypto exchange bought an 8% stake in the company 3 years ago for $500 million. It's now worth more than $1 billion. Today, bankruptcy filings show 24 buyers have come together to buy most of those shares at around $880 million, including the United Arab Emirates and Jane Street, one of Sam Bankman-Fried's former employers. The sale of this stake is a major part of making FTX customers whole as part of the firm seeking to exit bankruptcy. All right, for our main story, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke with Chris Kuiper, Director of Research for Fidelity Digital Assets, at Bitcoin Investor Day last Friday. They spoke about the current volatility in crypto, and he shared his 2024 outlook for spot Bitcoin ETFs.
New all-time highs are back for Bitcoin, but so is volatility. What do you make of the current state of things in the market?
Yeah, so obviously we've had a very volatile, more than a year. 2023, we were up 155% in Bitcoin, and now we've kind of rocketed out of the gate once again, up 50% year to date. So I think what you're seeing is after this long bear market, we're once again seeing the cycle turn for a number of reasons, and a lot of people are once again rediscovering Bitcoin. We've obviously had the approval of the exchange-traded products, which are helping with demand. And then you have things like the upcoming Bitcoin halving, which people are now turning towards.
We are coming up on the end of the quarter here, which of course kicked off with the launch of all of these new Bitcoin ETFs. What would you say the impact of these new products as a whole has had on the market, on the action, the price action, the investor behavior?
Yeah, so the ETFs were very interesting because we did get kind of the classic Wall Street buy the rumor, sell the news. The day they were approved, we got almost a 20% pullback, and everyone said, maybe not a big deal. And then since then, I've been absolutely very wrong about this. I thought this would be kind of a slow burn for these things, that we would get demand as people started to put them into their portfolios. Our RIAs became aware of them. They were talking to their clients about them. I thought this would take years, which it still will, in the long term. But in the immediate term, we've seen a huge flow you see this in the trading volumes as well as the actual money flows into these products. And so that's providing a massive source of demand, which I think is helping to drive the price up right now.
And so what about, in terms of the rate of adoption going forward? Is it just time and investor education? With both of those things, what does the rest of the year look like to you? Is it all up from here in terms of the adoption of these Bitcoin ETFs, or do you see that pattern sort of changing throughout the year? Yeah, the pattern we see with adoption is ebbs and flows. Like and it follows the price. If you look at the price on a log chart, you see the price move up really quickly and then have massive drawdowns. And I think adoption is the same. The price moves up, it gets more people interested, they become educated, they say, maybe I want to hold some of this for the long term. But then, of course, there's also traders and speculators that whipsaw the asset around. But each time you go up, you draw down, you go up again, you don't keep going back down. And I think adoption's the same. A new wave of people come in, and then those people are now educated. They now understand it. And then another cohort of people come in, and now they understand it. And so I would expect the same pattern to continue through the rest of the year, and really, multiple cycles after this. You mentioned the halving, a key catalyst that we've been talking about. Seems like everyone is talking about it, and I think that's so interesting. 4 years ago, unlike 4 years ago, it seems like everybody knows exactly what the halving is and what historically its impact on the Bitcoin price has been. How, if at all, is this year's halving different to you? It's a completely different market than it was 4 years ago. And of course, past performance is not exactly indicative of future profits, but how is this year's halving different, if at all?
Yeah, so
we only have 24 days until the halving, by the way. Just wanted to make sure you guys know that. 24 days, 14 hours, roughly.
Big difference is we've hit a new all-time high before the halving has even taken place. So that's never been done before. Obviously, we just talked about the exchange-traded products are probably playing some role there. But the other thing is that, this time every time we have a halving, it's of course half as much, right? And so the supply is going to get cut in half again, but it's not as much as before. So I think there's some debate as to whether it's going to have as big of an impact as before, or whether the previous halvings had a much bigger impact because they had kind of this supply shock. So maybe not as big of a supply shock this.
What is he saying? What? It's going to be a greater supply shock because there's more people involved in it now with these ETFs. Am I wrong? What? This guy's saying.
Around, but I think we have a bigger demand shock this time. So we'll see how those two kind of play against each other.
I want to talk about allocation, something I'm hearing a lot about at this event. What does, if you could, simplify it, what does a, quote, proper Bitcoin allocation look like for retail investors, for institutional investors, and I think particularly on the institutional side, we've always said between 1% and 3%, but I think lately this year, with all of this new interest in the market, I have been hearing about bigger allocations by institutional investors. So I don't know anecdotally if you are having those types of conversations with people at all, but what do those conversations look like, and what's your view on this?
Yeah, so
real quick, Manuel in the chat, another scammer. Never commented on my channel before and wants us to look at some bullshit meme coin. Don't invest in that.
Our analysis has shown that basically a little goes a long way, at least historically. And of course, past is no indication of future, but you only need just a little bit, those few percentage points, to greatly increase your returns. And even though your volatility goes up a little bit, you're more than compensated for that. And also over the long term, Bitcoin has a very low correlation to these other assets. So it actually doesn't increase your drawdown that much because you're adding something that zigs when everything else zags over the long term. In terms of the allocation, it all depends on the investor, of course. Whether people are taking bigger positions, hearing that anecdotally as well, and I think that's highly correlated to how much work they've done in the space, how much they've invested in terms of understanding it, understanding the asset class. That's what's going to give them more conviction, and that's also what gives people more conviction when they inevitably see a drawdown or the price drop.
To finish, what do you think about corporates that hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet? We talk about Tesla, or at least we used to. MicroStrategy is sort of the big one right now, but what's your view on that as a strategy?
Yeah, so I think obviously it depends on the corporation. It's not going to make sense for all of them, but I think the value proposition is Bitcoin is a uncorrelated asset. It's an emerging store of value, and investing, especially for a corporation, if they have to hold their cash or other investments for the long term, it's all a relative game. And so they're looking at other things, the traditional assets of treasuries or bonds. And especially when we had high inflation, they were getting a negative return on that. They're saying this thing is melting. This thing is going, I'm losing purchasing power. Why not we try to diversify that into something that is becoming more scarce by the day, especially with the halving, as a potential hedge against that. And so that's why I think it could make sense for a lot of corporations out there.
Okay, that's all we have today for.
Shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right, let's move on to video of the day. I'm only going to watch one with you guys. I have another one down in the description below if you guys are interested in checking it out. All hell is going to break loose in crypto. Bitcoin's above $70,000. For the record, it is almost 71,000 over here. 70,983 bucks. Crazy. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's do it. Hit that like button, guys.
Bitcoin pumps again above $70,000 as the crypto rally resumes.
I've said before, if Bitcoin's not going to zero, it's going to 1 million.
And while over $1 billion exited crypto funds last week, that explains the dip.
The real question is it legitimate asset?
What's next for Bitcoin this week and the ETFs?
If it's a legitimate institutional asset, everybody is underallocated to it.
And what's next for altcoins?
What the hell is that? What is that? What is this? Internet computer? How fast is ICP? Really? Is that true? And Solana, they have it restarting. That's a riot.
For altcoins.
The crypto market roaring back over the weekend and in the green to kick off the week.
So number one, it's important to understand that last week's red week was driven mainly by grayscale outflows.
Places like Celsius, FTX, Genesis are flooding the market with their GBTC.
Meaning no matter how much Bitcoin was bought up by BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, Bitwise, the biggest four of the Bitcoin ETF issuers. Some weeks there will be pullbacks, but GBTC could run out of Bitcoin in 14 weeks.
Could you imagine that if GBTC runs out of Bitcoin in 14 weeks because of their arrogance and then just like them wanting to be, they want the recognition of, oh, we went to bat for you guys, so we deserve 6 times more of a fee. Like, eat a dick.
According to blockchain analytics firm Arkham, based on the current rate of redemptions, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust could run out of Bitcoin to sell in just 96 days.
I would have never guessed that Grayscale would have been cut in half 2 months into the Bitcoin ETF approvals.
Grayscale started the year holding over 618,000 Bitcoin for their Bitcoin Trust GBTC. They now hold only...
Thank you, Mr. Crypto KJ, for sending me this. Look at this. This is it. Solana restarting Ethereum. Oh, there we go. There we go. And now Solana's working. And then crashed. This is the best. This is the best meme ever. That's great. Thank you, Crypto KJ.
Only 356,000 BTC. If they carry on like this, that's only about 14 weeks of run rate. And even with that, Out of the 11 total weeks that the Bitcoin ETFs, all of them, have been in existence, there's been so much more buying versus selling, and week 12 has started. So I don't think this will go to zero. I think we are close to GBTC outflows leveling off. And
yeah, how fast would Caspa be against the ICP? Would you even be able to see it? Would it just be a blur? I wonder.
Looking at where the Bitcoin ETFs stand today, this is how we started this week. ETF trading volume leaderboard, Bitcoin ETFs are up 9% at the beginning of the morning. Also Fidelity and always BlackRock are ahead of GBTC. So volume for at least 2 of the ETFs are far surpassing Grayscale. That was the beginning of the first day, and looking at how we're ending the first day, Bitcoin Spot ETF alert. Massive ETF FOMO is hitting the market. There's a surge in volume with nearly 2 hours left on the clock, predicting a whopping 70 million plus for just BlackRock's ETF.
And somehow you have to get both of these worlds to interface.
Avalanche and Chainlink collaborate on Australasian on-chain asset settlement. So altcoin adoption is happening. The Australia and New Zealand banking group, ANZ, and Chainlink Labs have released the results of a recent collaboration that aimed to connect the Avalanche and Ethereum blockchain networks for on-chain settlement solutions.
So really you want to create a single world, right? You want to create a single interconnected world.
So Chainlink was used like this. ANZ used an interoperability solution provided by Chainlink called the Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol, CCIP, which allowed it to demonstrate how clients will be able to access, trade, and seamlessly settle tokenized assets across networks in different currencies.
Where you just have one, what we call Internet of Contracts, right? So there isn't like a bank internet and an insurance internet and a gaming internet. It's like one internet, right? We're all on one internet, together with all the banks and all the gaming companies and all the insurance companies and so on.
Through CCIP, ANZ simulated the purchase of tokenized assets on the Ethereum network at a price denominated in one stablecoin, with transaction initiation and settlement occurring on Avalanche in another stablecoin.
So fundamentally, what I think you're trying to do when you create a data transmission layer and a value transmission layer like Chainlink is you're trying to create a single Internet of Contracts.
By the way, if you're looking for the best exchange...
Nope, not looking for the best exchange. Trying to show this bullshit. Oh, fuck out of here.
Coin causes community outrage after airdrop allocation reduced. The new Polkadot...
Mr. Yeti, tell Dynex to approve raids. I can't redirect them because they don't have the acceptance of them, I guess. So have them add me to their channel in raids in the settings.
Polkadot-based meme coin's Telegram channel amassed over 20,000 airdrop hunters.
You can see it right here. This is what it says when I try to raid them. It says redirect privileges needed. Ask Dynex Coin to add you to their live redirect list in the community settings. So that's where you gotta go.
Within a few days. And before the outrage, just as a reminder, Dead started trending on X on March 23rd after members of the Polkadot community spun up the meme coin in an effort to capitalize on the meme coin frenzy and bring more attention to the Polkadot ecosystem. Investors holding Polkadot were eligible for 36 Dead tokens for every 1 DOT they held. Polkadot holders like myself were excited. Yet, the initial airdrop allocation was reduced from 100% of the token supply to just 5% to create a longer financial runway for the meme coin, meaning Polkadot holders were about to get 100%, now that's down to 5%, while the team keeps 95%. And in a direct quote from one of the pseudonymous developers, once you distribute 100%, you run out of ammunition. Because the voters were not willing to fund the project, it makes more sense to distribute less, and the rest of the tokens can be used to finance the project. I tend to agree with that sentiment, but just 5% of the total supply to the community is way too less. It could have been 50-50, it could have been 60-40, but either way, 5% of the supply was airdropped to Polkadot holders. Hilarious how nearly everyone is mid-curving Bitcoin DeFi, the literal biggest opportunity in crypto. So obviously the BRC20 and the Bitcoin ecosystem, tokens on Bitcoin, are exploding. Just like you want to have your pulse on coins in the Cardano
This is the best meme. It really is hysterical.
Ecosystem and the Solana ecosystem and other altcoin ecosystems, DeFi on Bitcoin is definitely an ecosystem to watch. I am an advisor for OrangeDex, the first generation Bitcoin DeFi hub, your fresh route to the BRC20 ecosystem, a Bitcoin protocol platform to trade, bridge, launch, earn, borrow, and lend on Bitcoin.
Now another BRC20 project or a hub for Bitcoin DeFi.
So think of them like a Uniswap, only for Bitcoin.
They've got an incredible cap table. They're listing on Gate, MEXC, PancakeSwap on the 26th of March. They raised $2.5 million and they want to become the Uniswap equivalent on the Bitcoin, on the BRC20 networks.
So just something to keep tabs on. Over 2.5 million were raised in their private round. And in a direct quote from one of their VC backers, with Bitcoin smashing its all-time high, the interest in BRC20 has been further ignited, being the ultimate Bitcoin DeFi hub for bridging, trading, lending, borrowing, and more. OrangeDex is poised to be a major force in the very near future. And keep in mind, not every coin will make it. Not every coin in Ethereum's ecosystem has made it. In fact, many have failed, but the ones who have succeeded are massive. And expect a very similar thing in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Meaning investing in crypto is risky, never invest more than you're willing to lose immediately. But Bitcoin DeFi is not going away, and I'll do my best to keep putting emerging protocols on your radar. Breaking. Cardano ranks #1 out of all the blockchains in developer activity per Into the Block.
This is kind of another reason, like, it's not just about this FUD all over the place. I wouldn't call it FUD, actually. Just like, people talk about ADA and Cardano a lot, which is a reason I think it could have a good pump, which is what I was saying earlier. It just makes sense, right? So, I don't know.
ADA has registered almost 1 million commits on GitHub,
Easy 5x,
exceeding
right?
its closest
6x.
competitor Ethereum, which recorded under 500,000 commits during the same period. Avalanche comes in third with over 315,000 commit counts, while Litecoin and Tron stand at around 84,000 and 79,000 commits, respectively. So something is being developed on Cardano. The most developers seem to be choosing ADA, and just announced from Cody and Ethereum L2, our biggest ever giveaway has just begun. The Cody V2 airdrop is now live with over 40 million Cody V2 tokens.
Please be careful with airdrops.
Currently worth around $8 million to be shared amongst holders of both native and ERC20 Cody. So this is just if you want to take advantage of the airdrops. It went live today, but you're free to join anytime. And while this is open to all Cody holders, you do have to simply deposit that Cody in the treasury if you want some passive accumulation. I'll leave you with this, your moment of zen. China State TV on Bitcoin around 3 years ago.
Well, if Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die. This is not a joke.
Yet Altcoin Daily was here 3 years ago, educating you on the fundamentals. Be sure to join us for the comedy roast of Altcoin Daily happening in LA.
No one cares. No one cares. All right, shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. Anyways, let's recap this stuff, guys. Bitcoin over 71,000. Look at that.
Perfect.
Oh God. Did I just unmute myself? What in the hell? Oh, there we go. Mr. Who is that? Someone just subscribed. Thank you very much. That was what it was. I wasn't used to the noise that it made. I don't know if you guys heard that. Anyways, everything is looking ridiculously well. ADA again, 67 cents. I think it's going to be a decent buy. It's pumped every single bull run with you know, with Bitcoin's all-time high and, you know, Ethereum and all these guys, right? Every bull run, again, 2017, 2021, right? I think it has a good chance to at least 5 or 6x. So why not take a gamble on it? $100 is what it is, you know what I mean? You don't have to go too crazy. Anyways, damn it, not yet. I need more time. Mr. Max Voltage, what do you need more time for? I'm sorry, dude. I feel like crap. If I didn't feel like crap, I would totally hang around a lot longer. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys are capitalizing on these gains and making good moves, good plays. Somebody asked actually about Litecoin and what they should do with it in the chat. To be honest, I think Litecoin has a good future. Everything's accepted. Litecoin is accepted everywhere that like Bitcoin is, right? For the most part, right? As a payment. $322 in 2017 or so, a little more than that probably. And then the all-time high, what was it? $410, it says. It's down 77% from its all-time high. I think we're probably going to get a 4x, 3 to 4x out of Litecoin. It's either hold Litecoin or swap half of it into Casper. That's what I would do personally, not financial advice. That's just my personal what I would do, you know. All right, there is a Dynex interview, not an interview, roadmap thing going on. If you guys are interested, go check out Dynex Coin. Is that what it is? Dynex Coin. Is that the channel? Right here. Dynex Coin. They are live right now. 143 people watching. I can't raid them because clearly I don't have their settings turned on. But if you guys are interested, go watching this. Check out the Dynex roadmap. Feel free. Teach his own. I don't know if you guys like it. You don't like it, is what it is. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have a great, happy, and safe Tuesday. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace out and enjoy your day.
Eat shit, Gary.
You guys don't get to 100 likes. I'm going to show you my cleavage.